a Subway spokesman who was secretly a pedophile, a man obsessed with tigers and revenge, a Canadian actor who murdered off-screen. These celebrities fell from stardom and landed behind bars. You probably remember a man named Jared Fogle from the Subway sandwich commercials. When he was just 20 years old, he weighed over 400 pounds. He decided to change his life in 1998 by exercising and eating 2 sandwiches from Subway every day. He lost more than half of his body weight in less than 1 year, according to the Los Angeles Times. He then appeared in a Men's Health article and soon became a spokesman for Subway, appearing in his first commercial for the sandwich shop in 2000. He had parlayed his weight loss into an income-earning gig. A few years later, things took a very dark turn. During a plea deal with authorities in 2015, he confessed to receiving child pornography and sexually abusing minors, according to NPR. He was involved in interstate travel to pay for sex and possessed 400 videos of illicit pornography. Even worse, many of the videos were sent to him by the head of his charity, according to prosecutors in the case against him. Fogle was sentenced to over 15 years in prison and won't be eligible for parole until he has served at least 13 years. Fogle was also reportedly ordered to pay restitution to 14 minors that he assaulted, to the tune of $1.4 million. Singer R. Kelly was arrested by the feds on July 11, 2019 in Chicago. He and a few associates allegedly recruited young girls for sexual encounters, isolated them from their families, and controlled them so they wouldn't seek help, according to the Chicago Tribune. An indictment was filed in a U.S. District Court in New York City, and Chicago prosecutors also issued an indictment claiming Kelly paid off witnesses and victims in a 2008 child pornography trial.
And it was critically important in this case in particular for people to come forward and to tell their stories.
Trial dates in New York were postponed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. While Kelly was in a Chicago federal jail awaiting trial, he was attacked by Latin King gang member Jeremiah Shane Farmer in August 2020. Farmer beat the star up while he was in bed, and Kelly reportedly sustained a serious concussion during the incident. In June 2022, Kelly was given 30 years in prison following his sex trafficking conviction the year before, while in September he was found guilty of producing child pornography, with his attorneys requesting the sentence be limited to 11 years. Todd and Julie Chrisley achieved widespread recognition for their reality show Chrisley Knows Best, which first debuted in 2014. The program follows the married couple and their children in the South as they go about their lives. So how did the Chrisley clan get so wealthy? Well, Todd was supposedly a highly successful entrepreneur and real estate developer who applied his uncompromising business ethics to governing his family, leading to no shortage of drama. Despite Todd's ever-watchful eye on the goings-on of his household, there's always someone getting into trouble or causing some turmoil. Chrisley Knows Best was popular enough to lead to various spin-offs, including the According to Chrisley web series, What's Cooking with Julie Chrisley, and the podcast Chrisley Confessions. Unfortunately, things got even more real for the reality TV family when Todd and Julie found themselves embroiled in a difficult legal problem. The couple was charged with tax evasion, conspiracy, bank fraud, and wire fraud on August 12, 2019. This culminated on June 7, 2022, with both of them being found guilty on all counts, though with separate sentences. Todd was sentenced to 12 years in prison, while Julie was sentenced to 7. Joe Exotic entered the public consciousness with the release of the massively popular 2020 Netflix documentary series Tiger King. It chronicled the bizarre world of big cat collectors with an emphasis on the even more bizarre Exotic, who, in addition to running the GW Zoo in Wynwood, Oklahoma, also dabbled in guns, cultivating a career in country music, and running for political office. The docuseries shone a spotlight on the cast of eccentric characters that populated the world of big cat collecting and the madcap antics they got up to. However, the highlight of the show was Exotic's intensifying clashes with Carol Baskin, an animal rights activist, which culminated in his attempt to eliminate her for good by hiring a hitman for $3,000.
We hear it's Carol's birthday next month, and we're shipping her 2 of these.
Of course, Exotic's murder-for-hire scheme didn't go unnoticed by the authorities, nor did his other unlawful actions. According to CNN, his other crimes included the killing of 5 tigers, selling baby lemurs despite filing them as donations, and other wildlife violations. In 2020, the United States Attorney's Office Western District of Oklahoma handed Exotic a 22-year prison sentence, in addition to 3 years of supervised release after he served his sentence. Bloomberg Law states that while he managed to reduce his sentence by 1 year previously, Exotic's 2022 appeal to decrease it by another 8.5 years was shot down by the U.S. Court of Appeals for the 10th Circuit.
It is a ticking time bomb. If somebody thinks they're going to walk in here and take my animals away, it's going to be a small Waco.
Josh Duggar's claim to fame is that he's one of 19 children in the Duggar family, the focus of the reality TV series 19 Kids and Counting. Because the family is so devoted to their Baptist faith, parents Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar have been open about not using birth control, which is why they have so many offspring. While a big part of the show's fascination lies in seeing how the two parents deal with raising so many kids at once, it's the strict religious manner with which the family functions that have made 19 Kids and Counting so interesting to watch. In the Duggar household, the children are only allowed to watch family-friendly TV shows. Modest clothing must be be worn and chaperoned courtship is practiced. Unfortunately, those rigid religious beliefs didn't prevent the Duggars' oldest child, Josh Duggar, from engaging in various crimes. Josh first attracted controversy in 2015 when word spread of his supposed molestation of multiple young girls, among which were several of his sisters. His legal troubles got worse when he was charged with possession of child pornography, to which he pleaded not guilty. However, Josh was found guilty on the charges of receiving and possessing child pornography in 2021, resulting in a prison sentence of 12 years and 7 months. Josh and his legal team are set to appeal to the 8th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in February 2023. Ryan Grantham was a young Canadian actor whose career held promise until he threw it all away with a terrible crime. Throughout his relatively brief acting stint, he appeared in almost 40 movies and TV shows. However, Grantham's auspicious career in Hollywood came to a tragic end when, on March 31, 2020, he shot his mother in the back of the head. Not long after his brutal crime, Grantham made a video confession and even planned to kill Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. He decided not to, ultimately turning himself over to the authorities the following day. Grantham was given a lifelong prison sentence with the possibility of parole after 14 years.
A BC Supreme Court judge called this case disturbing, heartbreaking, and extremely tragic.
Tory Lanez was a rapper who first garnered widespread attention with the release of his 2013 mixtape Conflicts of My Soul, The 416 Story. 3 years later, after signing to Benny Blanco's record label Mad Love Records and a collaboration with Interscope Records, Lanez released his first full-length album, I Told You. The album was a considerable success, largely due to its hit singles Say It and Love, the latter of which received a Grammy Award nomination for Best R&B Song. Lanez capitalized on his popularity in 2018 with 2 more albums, Memories Don't Die and Love Me Now. The album of his that ranked highest on the Billboard 200 chart was 2019's Chicks Tape 5, which came in at number 2. However, what started as the beginnings of a long and successful career as a hip-hop and R&B artist was cut short when, in 2020, Lanez shot popular recording artist Megan Thee Stallion with an unregistered semi-automatic firearm, leaving her with minor injuries. He was found guilty of multiple charges and could face up to 22 years in prison. Lanez's defense attorney, Jose Baez, told TMZ that because of the celebrity nature of the trial, mistakes were made during the proceedings, which may tip the scale in their favor of winning an appeal. The sentencing has been delayed until April 2023. Until that can take place, though, Lanez remains in jail. Amy Locane is an actress who got her first big break with a recurring role as Andrea Winger in the short-lived 1980 sitcom Spencer. Locane's acting career was destroyed when, after leaving a wrap party for a theater production she was a part of in 2010, she had too much to drink and caused 2 car accidents. However, it was the second accident that really got her into trouble, as she crashed into the car of Fred Seaman, resulting in the death of his wife, Helene Seaman. The actress was found guilty of 2 charges and was given an initial sentence of 5 years in prison, which was brought down to 3. But Locane's legal battles didn't end there. Despite being paroled, NJ.com revealed that she has been given multiple sentences since she was first convicted in 2012 on the grounds that her initial sentences were not harsh enough, the most recent sentence being 8 years.
I drove home while I was intoxicated.
Allison Mack got started in acting from a young age, first appearing in 1989's Police Academy 6, City Under Siege, before she was even a teenager. From then on, she was seen in numerous TV shows and movies, with the occasional big screen appearance. Mack's acting career came to an end in 2018 when she was arrested for her part in the self-help/sex cult NXIVM. The cult was led by Keith Raniere, and it was for him that Max recruited young women to be sex slaves. She was ultimately charged with sex trafficking, among other crimes. The actress pled guilty in 2021 and was given 2 3-year sentences, which she will serve at the same time. As part of her punishment, Mack must pay $20,000 and will be put on probation for another 3 years after she served her time. If you or someone you know may be the victim of child abuse, please contact the Child Help National Child Abuse Hotline at 1-800-4-A-CHILD, 1-800-422-4453, or contact their live chat services.